Welcome back, and in this video I'll be giving you some information on chatbot types and ways to build one. So I'm not going to go into technicality, but I just want to give you some domain or high level knowledge on what are the types of chatbots and the ways to build a chatbot. So there are two models, so I'll be explaining those two. So why am I talking about this chatbot is because every company and every organization of almost all industries are bringing in chatbots. Almost maybe 85% are bringing in chatbots because it's helping them with their day to day business functions. Imagine people everywhere trying who are mostly customer facing. How many reps can answer or can attend to how many customers? The numbers are growing. So therefore organizations, they are finding ways in which they can create personal assistants and assistant bots for their business that can answer and that can help the business in certain areas of their business functions. So this is the reason why many companies are going in and trying to build chatbots. So you would have noticed almost in many websites you would have seen already bots coming into place. So this is the future and this is the trend of how businesses are approaching. So there might be a chance where you might have to build a chatbot, but here's some little knowledge that you can have which would be beneficial. So let's get into it. So basically there are two types of chatbots, which is open domain and closed domains. Okay, so I'll give you the difference between both. So an open domain chatbot, as the name suggests, it's open. Okay, there's no boundary, and this type of a chatbot is similar to talking to your friend. Okay, imagine how you talk to your friend. You can speak anything. Okay, you can speak on any topic, you can switch topics anytime, but whatever topic you switch, still your friend is going to understand the context and give you back an answer. So this is an example of open domain chatbots. When you look in contrary or in contrast to open domain chatbots, you have the closed domain. So these bots are similar in a way where you talk, let's say for example, to your subject teacher. You can ask questions, but the questions might be limited only to that particular subject. For example, if you're speaking to a math teacher, then the questions that you ask a math teacher, the teacher would be able to respond with the right answer because it's related to the teacher's domain. You cannot approach a math teacher and ask the math teacher some physics questions because it's totally out of the teacher's domain. So this is an example for closed domain chatbots. So to give you the definition of this is, open domain chatbots are capable of handling a wide range of questions for various topics and domains. So what these bots are trained in a way that it can answer n number of questions irrespective of what domain you're asking a question or what is the topic. When you look at closed domain bots, they are capable of handling questions within a particular range or domain. So let's say there's this sales website, okay, or this e-commerce website. Whatever questions you're going to ask within this e-commerce bot, the bot is going to respond only based on information relevant to e-commerce. You cannot go to the bot and ask the bot any medical question. You cannot ask anything irrelevant. So the bot's domain of knowledge is closed and limited. So with this, so as I said, the open domain, it can answer any number of questions, but imagine the amount of information the bot has to process and get trained and the knowledge the bot needs to know. So always when you have a chatbot, definitely there is a phase of training, and definitely the amount of data that you use for training these bots is going to be huge comparing to the closed domain chatbots. In the closed domain chatbots, here you need huge amount of data again, or can be depending on how small or how large your domain is. Accordingly you need to provide the training data. Only then the bot would be able to get trained and answer customer queries. So the open domain bots, it can be used for global, when it's facing customers or users of, global range or of from different areas, from different domains, each one coming with different areas of expertise. So when there is a situation like this, open domain chatbots would be helpful. Personal assistants, You can ask any question and then it has some question answer for that question. So these are examples of open domain chatbots. Closed domain chatbots are going to mainly be used within an application or a website that has some restricted information. You just want the bot to get trained on what questions that might arise from customers or clients, and you train the bot in order to deliver the appropriate answer based on these questions. So this is the difference between open and closed domain chatbots. So mostly when businesses they work with bots, it's mostly closed domain because it pertains to whether what domain their business is and to what particular level of information you want the bot to respond to. So mostly people go with closed domains, but there can be situations and use cases where you need to go with open domains. But I hope you got some information on these two. The next one is, how do bots retrieve answers, or how do bots give answers to users when they type in a question? So now you have entered a question, let's say on a traveling website, you say that you want to book a particular a bus or a train or a flight for a particular day. So now the bot asks you, okay, on what day, what is the, when you want to check in, when you want to travel. It asks you a series of questions. So how the bot is able to ask you these questions, or how the bot is able to respond to your question. Let's say you say how many seats are available for a particular travels. So the bot is able to give you back these answers. So there are two ways in which bots give back answers, or the bots answer users. One is retrieval based and the other one is generative based. So by the name it suggests, the first one is retrieval based. It provides the most relevant response or answer based on the set of predefined answers available in a database. So in retrieval based, always answers to different questions would be always stored and kept, okay, in a database. So whenever the bot encounters a particular question, the bot will process that question. I'll come later to that. But once the bot has processed that question, it will compare that question and see what is the right answer for that question in the database, and based on that the bot will retrieve the right answer that's mapped to the question and give it back to the user. Okay, so this is an example for retrieval based. When you look in contrary to generative based, the bot is really advanced. Okay, it doesn't need to just give out answers or answer back like a parrot. If you teach a parrot a particular word, it will repeat that back to you. But generative bots can really talk like human beings because they generate their own answers, appropriate answers to a question. Okay, it develops its own response to a asked question based on huge amount of conversation data used for training. So every day, imagine a small child. The child learns to answer questions. The child learns to talk based on every day the family, the friends, the environment, the people talking. Based on all that, the child processes and starts developing their own sentences. So this is an example of generative based bots. So if you see here in retrieval based, only existing answers are given out as outputs. So a business, if they want only certain answers to be given out for certain questions, they can very well go with this type of a method or model, retrieval based. But sometimes if you want to build bots that are really human like, then you have to go for generative based, because the bot would generate its own answer and it would be its own output. Okay, so new responses get generated. And if you see for retrieval based, it uses machine learning and other keyword matchings because it doesn't have need much of natural language processing, or doesn't have to give out new answers like a generative bot. This bot, it needs to understand what's the question, identify the pattern of the question, and then map that question and see which is the right answer and just pull that answer and give it. But in generative bots, these type of model, advanced NLP, NLG techniques are used. So if you don't know what is NLU, that's natural language understanding. NLP is natural language processing, and NLG is natural language generation. So bots need to understand what is the the other user from the other end is trying to portray. It needs to understand the language, it needs to process that language, process what's the meaning of that particular sentence that is given to it, and it needs to be able to generate a response. So this is about generative based bots. So in general, if you see, you have the open and closed domains, you have the generative and retrieval based models. So a closed domain, you just say this is the domain and this is the knowledge a bot should have. I'll give you the questions, you retrieve it and give it to the end users. That's enough. It's easy to build. When you look at closed and generative based, so yes, the domain is closed, you don't have to have the full world's knowledge with you, but the bot should be able to generate its own language. So at that time, the data, the domain data is less, but the training data to for the bot to be able to respond on its own, that's going to take a lot of effort. When you look at open domain and retrieval based, it requires again a lot of data, okay, because it's open domain. Imagine, open domain means you should have answers for any type of question. So that, data set and that data should be huge, but the bot needn't, generate its own language. It's going to whether or not retrieve the data that's already stored, the response that is stored. Open and generative based, this is the most toughest thing, and still people are working on this and evolving, because open domain and generative is like a person having the world's knowledge and being able to generate its own responses to different type of questions that's posted to it. So this is a lot of effort, but when looking at the others, it has its own pros and cons. So I hope you got a little bit of information on what are the different types and ways of building a chatbot. If this was useful to you, please do give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel, and also do share your feedbacks. Thank you.